how to do B2B SaaS sales. So sales is just one of those important things. If you especially have a B2B SaaS, you have to hop on a call with the customer and you have to sell the software. Now, there are many ways to sell a software, right? You can hop on a call and just sell the software and be done with it, right? But that's not going to always work all the time, okay? You can also just tell them about your software, right? Or ask a bunch of questions, but that's also not going to work. There is a specific process and system that I use. So back in the day when I used to have agency, I sold to businesses, right? And I used the same process when I did the sales for my own business in my B2B SaaS. We have a company called Alice.ai, and that's where we sell B2B. It costs anywhere from $500 in minimum to upwards of $5,000 per month to use our SaaS. And I can tell you everything and most of the things are done on the calls. So let's dive right into B2B SaaS sales and how to do it. So there's two things you need to remember. Number one is that the gap between a value and the price, okay? It does not matter what the price of the product is. What matters is how much value does it provide. So if you're talking to a business owner on the phone and he's saying, this problem is costing me $100,000, can you help me? So if you have a SaaS that helps them with that problem and it saves them or makes them $100,000, either one, right? Then the value you just created is $100,000. Now, how much should you charge? Again, the price doesn't matter. How much should you charge? The bigger the gap, the better, okay? If you say, hey, I only charge $100 a month, they're gonna buy that instantly because you're solving a $100,000 problem. But because you're doing B2B sales, you're probably charging more than $100. I suggest at least 5 to 10% of the value that you generate for them. So if you're saving them $100,000, again, you can charge $5,000 to $10,000 per month or per year, whatever that might be. Now, you can charge $1,000 and that will still be fine as well. But again, it really depends on the value that you provide to that business more than the price that you are charging. And smaller the gap between the price and the value, the harder it is going to be for you to sell the SaaS. Point number two, it doesn't matter if you're selling a SaaS, service, or physical product, whatever you might be selling, it does not matter. What matters is result. How likely is this thing, the thing that you are selling, is going to get a result, okay? So I know you're selling a SaaS, you're in a B2B SaaS company, and they probably think this SaaS is going to help them solve that problem. But the thing is that it does not matter whatever you have to sell, okay? What matters is how likely it is going to get them the results, okay? How likely it is going to solve that problem that they're having. So for example, if you are more likely to get the result, then your product is more valuable. Hence, you can charge more money for that product. So if you have a product that is more likely to going to get you the results and the gap between the price and the value is also bigger, then they are more likely to buy. All right, that's it. If the gap between the price and the value is small, the likelihood of getting a result is also low, then you're not going to be able to close the deal. That's just the fact. But if you are selling a SaaS, then it more likely works. Okay, if you're selling a SaaS that helps them analyze a PDF, right? It does the work it's supposed to do. If you're selling a SaaS that generates new videos for the ads, it does what it's supposed to do. Now, it may not be a good video, but if you have a good SaaS, then it may produce a good video from your SaaS and it may help them solve that problem. But if you're selling a service or if you have agency, then it is kind of difficult because you have to do the work manually and that may not work all the time, but you're still going to get paid for the time. Now, let's dive deeper. So you were able to convince them that you have a solution. They're on a call, they want to know how it helps them, all right? The first thing you want to do is, of course, chit chat. You just want to get to know them. Where they're from, which city, Boston, Texas, right? Just 2 minutes chit chat, okay? You don't need much longer than that, just 1 to 2 minute chit chat. The call itself can be 15 to 30 minutes. I think 15 minutes is not enough, so do 30 minutes. I also don't think you need 45 minutes. I think you should keep it under 30 minutes and you should be able to do most of it within 30 minutes. Once you're done with the chit chat, the next thing you're going to quickly do is that you're going to take a lead on the call. You're going to be the one telling them, hey, this is what we're going to do on this call. I know you booked a call. You have a problem. I saw your application. I'm going to start the call. I'm going to ask you some questions to understand exactly what's happening in your business, the problem, and then I will tell you if our SaaS can help you or not. That's what you're going to do. This is basically you taking the lead, guiding them through. Okay. They're going to buy from you if they believe that you are somebody they can trust, right? And that trust comes from you being on point, right? You taking in charge, you leading them. Okay. Don't be led. Be the one who is leading them. This is your call. They're coming to you. This is your house, right? So you got to take in charge and show them around your house. All right. So once you set agenda, now we move on to the next thing, which is the problem. Find out what is the problem. Okay. You can literally just say, hey, tell me where are you stuck? Tell me what's the problem? Tell me how can we help you? Tell me why did you book a call with me today? Tell me what is it that you think we can help you with? Just ask for a random problem question, right? Just get to know. And if they say, I'm having this problem, then tell me why. Tell me more. Why is that happening? How long has that been going? How much is it costing you? This is a very, very important question. This is how you know the value, okay? How much is this costing you per month, per year? What have you tried to solve that problem? Why did it not work? Why do you think the solution that we have may work for you, right? What's the difference, right? You got to know more information. Before you can say, I can help you, you got to know more information. So once you figure out exact problem, then we're going to move on to the next step, which is knowing their current state, meaning their general information, right? Okay, tell me more about your business, right? Tell me how many employees do you have? Tell me how many salespeople do you have, right? Ask more detail about their business in relation to your SaaS or whatever the problem you're solving, right? For Alice.ai, I might say, tell me how many media buyers you have. Tell me how much ad spend you're running. Tell me how much time media buyers spend. Do you need a new media buyer? Are you looking to hire a new media buyer? What is the salary that you're paying to the media buyers, right? So those are the questions that I'm asking to understand their current state, where they're at, what is happening within the company, okay? So once you understand the current state, now you talk about the future, okay? Which is, what is it that they would like to have? So what are you looking to do? What is the solution for this, right? When would you like to have this problem solved? What does it mean to not have this problem for you, right? So you want to ask them, you want to paint the future, okay? What would the next 11 months look or 12 months look if the problem was gone? You just want to know what the future looks like for them. Basically trying to understand what it means for them to solve the problem. That's what you're trying to do. So once they say, hey, this is what I want to do, this is the future, and I want to get started right away, you got to get that, I want to get started right away. If they say, hey, maybe we can get started in next 4 months, then you say, hey, then why don't we just book a call in the next 4 months? You're here now, which means that you have a problem now. But if you want to get started in the next 4 months, then we can talk in the next 4 months. You're not ready, right? You need to hear from them. They're ready to get started now to solve the problem, okay? So once they say they're ready to get started and they're ready to solve the problem, then now we talk about the product. Now this is where you say, hey, I understand this is the problem you have. Problem 1, 2, 3. Make sure to repeat them. When you tell them exactly the problem that they described to you, they feel like you understood them. Basically, that's it. So you tell them, hey, this is the problem you're having. This is how our software solves it. Our feature 1 is going to do this for you. Our feature 2 is going to do this for you. And our feature 3 is going to do this for you. And with those 3 features, we're going to solve your problem. That's it. Now, would you like me to show you the product? Now you move on to demo. And what you do is that you only show them those 3 features. You show them feature 1, feature 2, feature 3. Every time you show a feature, you ask them if they have any question. So you show feature 1. Hey, do you have any questions about this? Yes or no? No. Okay. Move on to feature 2. Do you have any questions about this? Move on to feature 3. Do you have any questions about this? Okay. They have no questions. That's great. Or they have some questions, then answer those questions. So now that you have done the product demo, that was the demo, which will be 5 to 10 minutes, 5 minutes at most. Once you have done the demo, now you can tell them hey, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. What would you like to know? So this is where they start asking you a bunch of random questions. And that's it. They will ask you random questions. You just keep answering them until you get to a point where they ask you for how much. Okay? Because that's the key. Once they have asked all the questions, they would get to how much. Once you get to how much it is, you probably have all the other answers. They know how the product works. They know how it solves the problem. Okay? So But you don't want to be like, oh, it's $12,000. That's not what you want to do. What you want to do is that you want to say, hey, that's a great question. Before that, I just want to make sure this is exactly the product you're looking for that is going to solve that problem for you. And I want you to listen to them say yes. They need to say yes. Because if this is not the product that is going to solve that problem, then they're not going to buy. Okay, so before you tell the price, I want you to ask them, hey, we talked a lot about the product. You asked me a bunch of questions. I know what the problem you're having. Is this the product that is going to solve this problem for you? And if they say yes, then that's great. Now you can move on. Okay, amazing. That sounds great. So we typically charge $24,000 for this. But today, if you buy from me today, just today, it'll be $12,000 per year. If they say that's too much money, you just say like, hey, this is costing you $100,000. Is $12,000 worth it? And the answer is yes. If it is going to make them $100,000, paying $12,000 is not much. It's 12%, right? So that's basically what you're going to do, and answer any objections you may have or any objections they may have. So this is basically, once you tell them the price, they're going to tell you like, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to talk to my wife, my cow, my dog, my husband, right? They're going to have all these objections. What if it doesn't work, right? They're going to have all those things, right? That's when you get to money back guarantee and all those things, which is for a different conversation, but I can help you with those answers as well. So that's pretty much the process for B2B SaaS sales, and it should not take you more than 30 minutes. If you're doing it for longer than that, you're not hopping on a call with the right person, or you're not taking control of the call. So you need to take control of that call, and you need to guide them. You need to tell them like, hey, I have another meeting in like 20 minutes. So let's make this really quick and let's get right into it. You need to like take a lead. Don't chit chat for like 20 minutes. That's not the point of the call. Chit chat for 1 minute or less and get right into it. All right. They have a problem. You're not there to like have fun with them. You're there to solve that problem. So that's it. That's the B2B SaaS sales process that we use. If you have any questions, let us know, and I will see you on the next video.